There's only one major problem with a lot of direct-to-consumer golf brands. Now, that problem certainly isn't their price, as they're much cheaper than a lot of mainstream brands. In a lot of cases, it's not even performance anymore, as a lot of the brands that are bringing out equipment nowadays are actually remarkably good. So therefore, if it's not price and it's not performance, that only leaves one problem left. Where do you even try the stuff? Guys, how you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. Simon here, SAS Golf Academy. What an exciting video, update video, general end of the year video I've got for you today. So much has been in the works to get to this stage. I'm incredibly excited about where this is going. Therefore, before I cover the DTC brands I'm going to be fitting for going into 2026, as low as $249 for a fitted set of irons, £300, £400 set of irons, £500 set of irons, I'm going to cover all bases. I do want to thank you guys that watch my videos, have watched my videos all the way back 4 or 5 years ago, where I hatched this plan to fit for second-hand equipment on my balcony in the pandemic. And 4 or 5 years later, we have proven it's very much possible and a success. I looked at my website the other day, over 700 people I have fitted into second-hand clubs. Please just ignore this side of the studio as I've had a big move around. Obviously more stuff's gone in. It's kind of just been left to one side. And let's just make one thing very clear. Second-hand is here to stay. That is the core of the channel. It's actually all the second-hand content that I've produced that's enabled my channel to grow, helping you guys in terms of advice, building good value bags, and realistically, the reason all these brands wanted to work with me on this project. So again, thank you to you guys that watch my videos, as none of this would be possible without this particular community and audience. And rest assured, the second-hand content is only going to get bigger, better, and stronger next year. And one of the reasons I wanted to realistically make this move into fitting, let's say, more affordable, brand new irons, is because it gives me the opportunity going forward that if I fit someone into a brand new set of irons for £400, I'll buy their old Ping G10s, I'll buy their old Titleist 718 AP1s, whatever it might be, because there'll be someone else out there that set would now be perfect for them. Let's start with the first brand on the list, which is Lynx, and actually one of the most affordable brands that I'm going to be working with going into 2026. And as we go through my brands that I'm working with, the bit that I like at the moment is that they all add something a bit different. And hopefully in the future, I'm looking for more brands to work with. As long as they're around between that 300 to, let's say, 650 price tag, something like that, and they offer something different, good build, good performance, good quality, why wouldn't I want them in here? And for example, these Lynx Black Cat irons, very much towards more of that beginner player, cavity back. 249 these are about to be, 5 to pitching wedge, and we can choose your flex and choose your length. And again, for £250, that's such good value. Now, you might notice from the shelf, there's one particular Lynx iron not there, and it's because they've sold out of their previous Lynx VT head. However, don't panic, because it will be coming back. And the great thing, it won't be that much more expensive than what it was. Again, for that head style, I've done multiple videos on that head over the years. And for the price tag that it's going to come out for, it's such good value. It looks great, it feels great. And realistically, I think it's going to be one of the most popular irons that I fit for. Oh, obviously hit that one too good, didn't even register. Better. Because that particular head style will suit so many golfers out there. Because as we go into my next brand, that's one thing I really wanted to cover. Some of these brands you can get fitted elsewhere, but there's not many places all under one roof. Like if you go for a brand new premium brand club fit, there'll be Ping, there'll be TaylorMade, there'll be Callaway, because sometimes you guys don't know what you want to choose. I've kind of put on my website all the different brands so people could maybe choose which one they're looking for, but realistically when you get here and I see you swing it, I go, hang on a minute, that's not for you, this is for you. That's the kind of service that I want. And the more direct-to-consumer brands around that price tag under one roof that you can try, I think it's just a really strong bonus that having brands in that you can rarely try on a day-to-day basis, but not only that, have a lot of brands that you can't try all under one roof. I'm very excited to be working with these guys in 2026 for a few reasons. Number one, they've kind of built a business that I think is incredibly clever. We'll cover their hybrid irons briefly in a minute, even though a lot of you would have already seen a lot of their hybrid irons on YouTube. But what the guys at 11 are very clever at doing is finding a trend. Other brands charge a fortune for those particular trends. Mini driver definitely strikes out as one of those trends. And then they bring theirs out at basically half the price. For example, the 11 chipper, and then obviously the 11 mini driver. I did say to the guys, if I'm selling a lot of chippers in here, then that doesn't really bode well for my golf coaching, does it? Or let's say they're CNC milled wedges for around 70 to 80 pounds. The point is, whether it's their hybrid irons or wedges or mini driver, I know who builds these clubs, which means I know these clubs are being built well. And the fact that the price actually aligns very well with my ethos, especially in here. It certainly was a no-brainer to have 11 in the studio. And actually for a lot of golfers out there, depending on what part of their journey they're on in terms of their golfing career, actually hybrid irons could be the only alternative to still keep that ball up in the air, or maybe you just want an incredibly easy club to hit. This next brand is one of the brands that kind of inspired this whole idea anyway, because I thought the product's great, the adjustability, the customization is phenomenal, yet if you're an average golfer, you've got to be thinking to yourself, where do I even start? I'm of course talking about Vice Golf. Very much well known for their balls and being good value in the market, and actually their irons. For example, this VGI02 6-to-pitching wedge, under £500, or 5-to-pitching wedge, under £600. You get to choose your shaft, you get to choose the lie, the length, the color of the grip, the color of the ferrule. Which, if I think about it, if I wanted fully customized clubs from, let's say, your big name brands, your TaylorMade, your Callaway or whatever, your limited edition ones, so expensive, like stupidly expensive. And I understand there's a market for that as well. But what happens if you want a customized set of golf clubs? And the fact you can get a full set of customized irons like this for under £700, or let's say 6-to-pitching wedge, because again, some of you might not need a 5-iron in your set. You might just need a hybrid or a 7-wood, whatever it might be. I think there's a market for it. And the fact that now I get to be able to fit you guys into this particular golf club so that you're very short on what shaft you need, what length you need, what lie you need, how many grip layers of tape you need under the grip, I think is fantastic. Let's try and hit one where I don't hook it. Better. And she is going to go a mile because these are rather de-lofted, powerful irons, but a lot of you out there will potentially need those, especially when they look as good as these. And it has to be said, when it comes to Vice, they're very good at making clubs look original. Which brings me on to my Golf Spy's #1 player's distance iron winner, Orka. Now this is really important to note. Alex from Orka has supplied me with every shaft under the sun and duplicated them so I've got all the lengths as well. And I do think it's important to note, I've seen common trends when messaging, talking, setting up fitting kits, because again, some of these brands don't even have fitting kits at the moment. I potentially have another brand coming to the studio in January, which could be incredibly exciting. But the main point is, when it comes to direct-to-consumer brands and what they offer in terms of their website, shaft combinations, head combinations, the more choice you have, the more offerings you have, potentially more head combinations you have, customization offering you have, all come at a cost. And therefore, I'm very grateful for Alex going very much out of his way wanting to work with me in the first place, and also providing a full, and I mean full, iron fitting kit. And actually one of the biggest costs when it comes to building a golf club in 2026 or going into 2026 is the shafts and the offerings. There's a reason why KBS Tour, with any brand, but especially direct-to-consumer brands, is used a lot. And it's a great shaft, but it certainly is a more affordable shaft. Now again, I didn't know that, and to be honest, I don't think a lot of you needed to know that, because if a KBS Tour, which is a good shaft, 90 for example, or KBS Tour Light works for you, you hit a good golf shot, you like the feeling of it, doesn't really matter what it costs. However, with Orka, there's that option. If you want the KBS Tour, fine, not a problem. It's going to be a bit cheaper. And if it works for you, great. However, you've got the option. Unlike a lot of these DTC brands that I've worked with, that don't give you the option. If you want to pay a bit more and get the shaft that potentially gives you better numbers, better feeling, etc., Orka provide it. Not only that, but they're built to a very high standard. Plus, the biggest bonus I find with them is that because they're all lofted at 34 degrees, even though we can change that if necessary, it means a lot of you guys that struggle to spin a golf ball or get a decent descent angle into a green, decent carry, decent front to back dispersion, well, actually we have forgiving heads that will do that for you, rather than always having to go to a more blade version to get that launch and spin from other traditional manufacturers. Which brings me on to my last segment, and again, I want to be honest with you guys, as that's the only way I got to here in the first place. Second-hand clubs are still the best value, i.e. you buy these for $550, in a year's time, they're still going to be worth about £500. In a lot of these cases, they won't have the same kind of retention, understandably so. But again, you get that with premium brands as well. This would have been worth £1,100 for a full set when it first came out, and then 2 years later, £600. I've tried to choose brands that hold their value quite well versus their recommended retail market price. Also, I'm charging for the fitting sessions as well, just like I've always said, for the second-hand fittings or whatever it might be, so you guys don't feel pressured to buy. Come in, our experiment, try all, try every shaft, see if it makes a difference. I'll give you my honest feedback. If it makes zero difference, or actually I just think go and practice some more, don't worry about it just yet. As much as custom fitting does get thrown down our throat on how important it is, sometimes you just need someone to be blunt and honest with you and just tell you how it is. And there's one thing I can promise you, is that I will definitely be doing that. Guys, thank you ever so much for watching this video. All the links for the fitting lessons, everything that I offer on my website, sasgolfacademy.com. Catch you guys later.